yarn lovers, it's Gary and I'm coming to you from my living room here in Vancouver, Canada. So welcome. Today is Thursday, January the 14th, 2021, and this is episode number 91. And in my last episode, I accidentally made reference to the year being still 2020. I think it's a given that a few weeks into the new year, people are commonly making the mistake of repeating what they're used to. So if you're writing a journal, I'm sure that you've come across this for the first couple of weeks of January, that you write sometimes the previous year's date. So yeah, I'm going to try and get that right from here on in, that we are leaving 2020 well behind us and we are in the new year, embracing it. So what have I got to showcase in this video is a week's worth of crafting. So I've got some finished objects. I've been testing samples for my knitted hat pattern, which is still in a work in progress. It's called the Bush Tracker Beanie. I'm wearing one here, so I've got a few samples to show. I'm going to dedicate a full video on all of the samples that I've made so that I can compare notes between the economic value price yarns that I have tried in my tests, and that way anyone who's interested in trying it out will come to I guess use it as a tool and to investigate the yarn of their own stash, to bust through and maybe get some insight before beginning the project. I also have started 2 new projects that I'd like to share with you, as well as I got some happy mail, which I'll put towards the end. There are a couple of loose ends that I want to touch base with everyone on, and that was a holiday yarn giveaway that I had, I believe it was late November. The winning person, Sabrina B, did contact me, so she has the yarn now. I tracked it all the way to her address and she has now received it, so yay! I always feel a little bit uncomfortable nowadays with sending stuff in the post because for one thing, I don't know how long it's going to take and whether it will or won't arrive. And I have a funny story to tell you about Knitpicks with the bear yarn that did arrive, and it came to me I think 2 days ago, but it was the initial first order that I made, and so I called Knitpicks to tell them that I received the missing order that they said was not going to arrive, but it did arrive, so I'll talk to you a little bit about that as well. And the intentions, so I've got in my little lap here where I'm going to get my inspiration from for my next dye up in the kitchen, and it's a book of paintings from the Flemish painters, and it's called the Primitives, and they're all the masters from, I believe, the Renaissance and pre-Renaissance era. Yeah, so let's get stuck into the podcast. And okay, another big thing that happened this week, I guess I should mention, was that all of the Christmas decorations came down. So that was a big chunk of time that hubby and I devoted to putting all that stuff back into storage. And it made me go through a lot of the storage that I've been hoarding over the last, I'm going to say up to 8-9 years, that I have never used. So I did a big purge, and it just felt really good to get that cleaned up, that storage room. So that's a little bit of life story to share with you. Okay, so I'll start first with the finished objects that I created, this one being one of them. As mentioned, it is the Bush Tracker Beanie, and it's a knitted pattern, and what I used in this hat here was Peyton's Denemy. It is a 4-weight yarn, and I over dyed it, and I believe the colorway I used these two, I over dyed both of those. I held them together when I was knitting up the hat because the hat pattern calls for a bulky 5, and these are 2 4-weight yarns. It is a chain spun yarn, and it's a combination of wool, cotton and acrylic. and the way it mulled up was just kind of like sweet speckles here and there. I did it to a large size in my pattern, and I really enjoyed this variety probably the most out of the sampling. I haven't finished obviously knitting up the samples because I've got a whole slew of other yarns that I'm going to try out either together if they're lighter weights or a bulky fibre as well. So this one so far has been my most favorite to use. It is a chain spun, so the nature of a chain spun yarn is that it is a little bit more lighter, and yeah, so the stretch in it was really good as well. So the whole thing fits nicely with a little bit of room to stretch as well. Yeah, really enjoyed that. The other one that I made was to a small size, and it is this one here using 2 value yarns, and one is Red Heart Savers and in the colorway Aruba, and the second one, I'm looking down here because I've got all the labels that I've got to get through, is Muir Woods by Premier. Now these are both heavy, lofty 4-weight yarns. So this is the color of the Premier Muir Woods in the colorway. Let me look. It's called Creek. So the 2 of these together made up the hat. I'll just show you the Aruba. Those 2. And because they are both loftier sized 4-weights, the pattern actually was a little bit more dense, and I would say after a good wash it will soften up a little bit. I would say that the size of this one, because it is a little bit more loftier, may actually increase, so you might not get gauge if you use 2 lofty full size worsted weight number 4s together, held together. And the gauge of my hat is 16 stitches across, and I believe with these 2 it came to like, I'm gonna say maybe 11, 12. So the hat does knit up a bit bigger. The other one to medium size was in my last episode, I showcased this as being one that was slightly finished. It was kind of like up to the decreasing, so I'd done the ribbing and then the herringbone stitch, and then was about here in the hat. So the 2 yarns that I used in this one I covered in the last video, but just quickly, it is the Cookie yarn from Hobie in the colorway Mustard, and it's a 3-weight yarn. Even though they classify it as a 4, it's very, very light. And I held that together with the Premier Everyday Premier yarn. It's the anti-peeling or anti-peeling yarn, and the colorway for this was called Clay Tones. So just to show you the colors that I used, I'm gonna reach all the way here for this hat, is those 2 make up the colorway here that I'm holding. So this one, I would say, is a perfect ratio for the 16 stitch gauge. So yeah, this is a true size of the medium. Another really good option to choose if you're looking for a perfect weight for bulky is Charisma by Loops and Thread. And this is Charisma self-striping yarn. Now, the only issue that I'm finding with the self-striping yarn is that it is quite hard in this dark color to see the herringbone stitch, but it worked up super comfortably on the needle sizes that I choose in the knit pattern. And the colorway for the Charisma is called, what is this color? It's really, really soft as well. It's called Northern Lights. And I know Charisma has many different types of yarns that it comes in. You can get a mull variety of twist in Charisma. You can also get a tweed as well as solids. So really, really like that. I had a commenter on my previous videos on the Bush Tracker Beanie, and I guess the comment was, can this pattern be used for unisex individuals who are going to be wearing it? And my thoughts on that is yes, because it would really depend on what kind of material, what color that you use. The pattern does lend to be unisexed. And if you choose any of these colors in this one, for example, like maybe a royal blue or a green, not to say that you know, male people cannot wear bright colors like orange or even pink. I have bright colors in my wardrobe and I enjoy wearing those as well. So this one is an orange one that I'm wearing, and I would sport this walking down the street. If I wanted to, like, you know, I guess wear it out in public, I would totally do that. So the last one that I tried was, again, the same red heart that I showed in the previous video, the previous sample piece, and in the colorway Aruba. And this one I paired with, I don't think I have any left. I might have used it all. It is Hopium's yarn that they used to sell, called Baby Utopia. And I'm not sure what the colorway was called, but it's some sort of teal, speckly teal yarn. And what I did with this one was I wanted to see what a longer top would be like, and to make it sort of a little slouchy. And I did a different number of decreases just as an experiment. And I believe this one was a 6 decrease crown. And normally in my pattern right now, it's 8, and I like the 8 decrease. It gives it more of a flattened curve, whereas the 5 gives it, a 6 gives it a more of a pointy curve. And the thing that I found with this one is this pattern does not really, I'm going to say, translate very well into a slouchy beanie, only because the nature of the herringbone stitch sitting underneath the back of the head stops the slouch from opening up like a slouchy would and sagging. So that was my little test on the Bush Tracker Beanie being a slouchy. So that covers all of the works in progress. Hats, hats, hats. Very well versed in that pattern now, and that pattern will probably go out again to testers. I did have my testers lined up. I still have them, and I jumped the gun, and my math was not perfect, so I took it back and I did a couple more rounds of reviews, and I am going to be sending that out again with hopefully a very, very well described video that goes with all of the comparisons that I'm going to be making in a special video on the Bush Tracker Beanie. Yeah, so works in progress. What we have here is in my beautiful Billy from the Floridian Craft. She was the maker of this drawstring project bag, and it was generously gifted to me by Shirley from the United States. Hi Shirley, hi Billy. And in here I have my make that I'm working on for one of hubby's co-workers. Now, she went out and she bought the yarn for this project, and this is the first time that I'm ever working with Rowan and lichen and lace. I think that's how you pronounce it. And she supplied me with a pattern that she likes. It's a free pattern, and it's called Simple Pleasures Hat in Line Weight Plus Tussock. And it's from the design group or design person called Pearl B. So there are the details. And if I can find this, because the friend had emailed me the pattern in a PDF form, so I'm not sure where she located it, so I'm sure that if I Google it, I can find it, and I'll link it down below. And these are the colors that she has chosen. What we have here is some of the skein of the lichen and lace. Ooh, there we go. And it's upside down. Backwards and upside down. In this beautiful raspberry colorway is part of the design. I need to hold 2 yarns together at the crown after I do the rib brim. So this will be introduced into the make in a little bit. And the ribbing that I'm doing is this far into it. I think I've got to do 6 inches, so I've probably done about 2 so far of the ribbing, and it's in this colorway here, held double, and it is the Rowan yarn, and I think I've got the tag. Yeah, I had difficulties reading the tag that Rowan has. It's like a silver print on a black craft paper. And so this is it here. It's called Felted Tweed from Rowan, and it's a 50-gram ball. It is, I believe it is a sport weight yarn, and it's got 2 plies, like 2 strands that are twirled together. And I'll just show you what that looks like. Really, really nice color there, and there's the two strands that are sort of twisted together. And yeah, I am really enjoying it. It is a slower style knit, or it works up very slowly because of the nature of the yarn being smaller and the needles being smaller as well. So I'm working on a 3.75 set of millimeter needles. And then I'll go up to a 4mm set of knitting needles when I get to the crown part and the decrease. So I really, really like that, and I love this bag. So I think she'll be happy with the end product. I'll just put that back in here so I don't lose everything. The next one that I'm working on that I just started the other day was a blanket that I did a small swatch on just to check out what stitch that I want to work with. And this is what I came up with for my blanket. So it is a length, I'm going to chain up a number of chains to the length of the blanket that I intend to create, and then I'll just go up and down the length and continually build. It is crochet, and I watched a tutorial. I can't quite remember what the tutorial name is now. It's like how to do the, is it the double slip stitch? And it creates this ribbed knitted look, and it's fully reversible, so you get like the knitted look on both sides. And my color work is going to be done in a way where I utilize 3 different colorways. On either side, I'll have like one start, go down there, switch, come back with the other color, color 2, switch to the third color, color 3, back and forth, and so forth. And I'll carry the strands across the top, the edges basically, and the bottom, so that there's no cutting or weaving in of ends. And as soon as one yarn finishes, I will attach a new variegated or solid colored yarn, and so look a little bit of a scrappy or a kind of like a mix match of colors. The consistent one that I'm using throughout the make will be this bright green color, And that's because I bought a monster ball in the Spin Right sale of that color, and I have had it sitting in a bag of, I guess, blanket yarn to utilize in a blanket for over a year and a half now, maybe a year, maybe just a year. And so I am going to get into using that so that I can, I guess, crochet from my stash. Yeah, so this is the bag that I have full of all of the yarn that is going into that blanket. And I'll just quickly show you, it is a combination of that green. I have 900 grams of that green. Yes, 900 grams. And I'm going to be including some of this yarn here that was generously put in a swap from Rose Likes Crochet. Hi Rose. And it is this I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby in this colorway here. This is green turquoise red. I'm also going to be adding in this ball of yarn from Loops and Threads, and it is called Cozy Baby. This might be a different weight size as well. It's a 3-weight. But I don't mind, it'll be fine because each row is basically going to switch out. And the color of this one is Sedona. Okay, here's that big ball that I was talking to you about. It's a little bit in a state, but that's the ball that I want to get through for the blanket. I think I'll have enough to make a few actually. And what other ones do I have in here? Oh, the other one that's represented in that swatch is this one here. It is the Craft Smart Value from Michaels that I got. And this colorway here is called Stonewashed Ombre. So yeah. So those are the makes that I'm working on. That blanket will be around for a while, I think. The next thing that I want to chat about is my Knitpicks bare yarn that arrived. So after calling on the Monday, which was January the 4th, and resolving the fact that Knitpicks had investigated where my missing package was, they had reported through an email to me saying that it was lost and the order was cancelled. So they were reissuing me with a new set of yarn that was coming. And the second order that they sent out was not complete. So they then had to, I guess, top up the order by sending out the additional skeins that were missed in the replacement order. But lo and behold, 2 days ago, the original yarn showed up at my door. So I have my yarn and my intentions that I'm going to talk to you about. I did call Knitpicks to let them know that the original order came through, if they could cancel the second replacement order, but the shipment had already been released. Anyway, so they've requested for me to call them once that shipment does arrive, and I think we'll take it from the next step along the way. Perhaps they will give me a shipping docket that I can send back the yarn to them. But I'm not going to be paying for the shipment for that yarn to be sent back to them. What else? Let's have a look here. So the yarn that I got to try out was part of a sale that I took advantage of, Knitpicks was having, and I believe it was 25% off of their individual skeins. It worked out to be cheaper to buy them individually for this particular sale. And I'm not sure how much I paid for them. They're around $9-ish per skein. And I think with the sale, it might have been, I don't know, $7 per skein. So I probably got like $1 off each of the skeins. And I'm in my experiment that I'm planning to do in the near future is the Hawthorne DK weight. it's got a lovely twist on it, which you can't see because it's blowing out. But the twist is very apparent. That's and bumpy. I'm going to say like bumpy. There we go. Oh, great example there. It's in a off-white, so a nice space to begin with. And each hank you get 100 grams, 225 yards. So that's the one. I got 6 of those, and this is the other one that I'm trying out. It is called Hawthorn. Sorry, no, this is Twill. Twill yarn, and it's a worsted weight, 100 grams, and gives you 149 yards. So how did I do that? There we go. Also a very, very good twist on this one, and they feel both equally soft. Really, really soft. So I got 6 of those as well. So 12 all up. I have also a bag, if I have time, of all of the store-bought yarns, either through a mystery box or through the store that I had in the last experiment, but I ran out of certain colors in my dye, and I've stocked up my new colors, and I am gonna just go through them if I have time and pull out a few here and there to experiment with. So I've got, again, the Hobium Just Wool yarn, and that's upside down. It's like in a tweedy type of finish. It's a combination of, I guess, no, it's 100% recycled wool. I have more of that Kartopu from Hobium. I don't think they sell this anymore, but I'm not sure. And it's in the Angora Naturals. And I got more of the kind of a powdery grey steel light blue color. And I'll throw that in there as well, just to hang them up into mini skeins of maybe 50 grams each, and then do a little bit of a pack, like color pack. And again, I have to do more tests on the mystery yarn that I got from Kramer Yarns, and it's in this colorway, like a sky blue, pale powder blue as well. Yeah, so those are the intentions. My color choices that I'm thinking of doing are all from the Flemish Primitives book that I have here. It's like a Renaissance time painters, and they're the masters of their day. And I'll just show you a little bit. And what I'm thinking of after seeing all of these images was bright, rich colors that play upon metallic kind of bronzes or golds or silvers. So when that translates into my dyeing, I think that's going to be more of a the tans, the browns, the straw colors, to try and relate the metallic, or even like silver grays, the metallic that I'm going to show you in the pictures. So, excuse me, here we have the draping here of the garment from this painting is a really rich red and golds. But if you look closer, there's even in the jewels here, there are kind of rich blues, purples. So I'm gonna go for a series of dyed yarn that uses the rich colors with metallic kind of like colors. Here's another one here. We've got this really nice green and this fur color down here, and then we have all these yellows. So we have a beautiful representation here of just how it can play with a rich tone fabric and a metallic kind of, in this instance, it's gold. It's another one here. Beautiful, beautiful olive green. I love that green. It's probably one of my favorite greens. And we have like a royal blue as well. Check this one out. I'll come up this side. So this one has all of these royal colors, really super rich. But if you look across where they've combined when they're representing the metallic version of the garment, like whether it's a silver, gold, or bronze threads running through there, or even this guy here's crown, where it's obviously some type of metal that's being crafted. They're mostly kind of like browns, tans, gold colors. Okay, a few more. I'll show you a few more. There's another one there with all those bright colors, but also combining some type of element there with the suggestion that there is something shiny. Oh, this one's just amazing. This one actually has both pages there. So I have a few more that I've tagged, but I won't spend too much time showing you. The going trend, I guess, in the whole inspiration of getting into the kitchen to dye up this type of colorway that I'm thinking and talking about is just the juxtaposition of a bright, rich primary or a bright, rich kind of royal color with a type of color that represents the shininess of the garments in the paintings, like whether it be just a tan or gold, mustard. There could be some sort of silvers for the metals like silver itself. And also, yeah, so I'm going to be trying out those combinations and very, very excited to show you in the end what happens. So that is the intentions. I think I've caught up. I'll just check my notes. Oh, I've got the happy mail right at the end. So a few of these cards arrived for me just recently, and I just want to quickly go through them and just say a huge heartfelt thank you for these seasonal holiday cards. We understand that the post has been a little delayed, and they potentially could still be arriving. I'm not sure, but let's get stuck into it. I got a card from one of us YouTuber friends out there, Ral from the Dabbling Hook. Absolutely love this card, Ral. Anyone that I mention who has a YouTube channel, an Etsy store, or if I talk about patterns or tutorials given, I will put it down in the description box because sometimes I do fudge up the names. And look at these amazing characters here. What a lineup. I love them. So just briefly, Ral has Happy Holidays, Laurel, Ral, the Dabbling Hook 2020 on the back of that one. I also got a card from Judy, and Judy also has a YouTube channel here called Crochet Every Day with Judy. Hi Judy. And this is an original photograph by, I'm going to say Philip Weston. Now, I think I'm going to link this photographer's, he has a website, so I'll link the photographer's website down below. And I love the image. I think people will be seeing a lot more of that kind of thing happening, you know, snow, especially in Canada. Wonderful message here. I won't read it. It is personal. So thank you very much, Judy. And I believe Judy, Philip might be related. So thank you, Philip and Judy, for this wonderful card. The next one here is from Tammy. Now, Tammy has a YouTube channel as well. And she is that the right way up? No, it's not. And she is what is she? I want to say Twisted Stitches. That's right. Sorry, Tammy. So here we have the wonderful holiday message on the front here called Season's Greetings. And very glittery card of a truck bringing home the Christmas tree. I can just see that happening up here in Canada as well with all of the snow that's happening. Again, beautiful message. I won't read the personal message, but I'll read the inscription on the inside. Bringing special wishes your way for a beautiful Christmas and a wonderful year ahead, from Tammy. Thank you so much, Tammy. Love it, love it, love it. And here I have one from my fibre friend, Emmy Phillips. Hi, Emmy. And she has sent me a holiday greeting card which goes through the list of many of the holidays around the end of the year that happen. And wishing you a happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, winter solstice, Boxing Day, Festivus, non-specific holiday and other. Thank you. Won't read her her personal message, but the inscription says, may anything and everything you celebrate be happy. Very inclusive card there. Thank you, Emmy. Love that. And the last one that I have to share with you is from our Joyce. Hi, Joyce. And she sent me this wonderful, I'm going to say it's like a sheep in crochet hooks. I love that kind of, it's got like a Celtic feel to it. The cross swords, the sheep is dancing, the jig of Scotland, I believe. So love that, love that, love that. But Joyce, I think the note is missing on the inside of the card, but I do love the card. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I think that catches you up with everything, just looking around quickly. If I've forgotten something, I'll just add it in the next time. But yeah, so all the decorations are down, put away. I've done a little bit of spring cleaning on a huge storage facility that we have here in the apartment. And the purge made me feel, I don't know, it's just release. And just to have the space to walk into that storage unit is amazing. I hope everyone has been enjoying their first couple of weeks of January here in the new year, and I will catch you up in the next video. Bye for now.